All right. Welcome everyone to the No Logic Tournament Finals. This is Tam versus Krithel, and this is the Link to the Past No Logic Tournament. My name is Chex Human, and I'm joined by Malmo. Hello, Malmo.
Hello, Chex.
So we have game two. Is
This is
that right?
grand finals, yes, and this is game two with Tam having an advantage of one game from being in the winners bracket, which means that if Tam wins this game, the tournament is over. If Krithel wins this game, he has to win 2 more times to take championship. Both Tam and Krithel are former champions defending their titles. Tam won the HMG tournament last year, and Krithel won the HMG tournament 2 years ago. This is their first chance to win a no logic tournament.
So our runners are off. We just need to change the layout.
I might have to ping for that because it didn't work.
So what we're seeing is both runners starting at Link's house. They're going to check the Hylia Island because they can get that item if they want to. They can also clip out of bounds. So we're seeing a race to Hobo, and Tam wins, winning a small key as a prize. The Hera small key is the prize, and that is one of the best small keys. Because it helps unlock Swamp if you need to do that. One of the better keys. However, small keys are not very interesting because we don't need them. Now they are doing a slope swim to get to Ice Rod Cave. How convenient that is. Ice Rod Cave is right here. It's a sword. What adjective would you use to describe this sword, Malmo?
I would call it that a dupeable sword, but it's not an easy dupe, and it's not something they will want to do except as a last resort, just because of how far away it is from the place where you actually perform the glitch.
That's right. Tree warp is done in Village of Outcasts, so it would involve a lot of navigation to get there. In the procedure of duping. So we won't worry about swords right now. Both runners are going to check the waterfall, and how about that? There's our S tier small key, if there ever was one. And that's the desert small key. That can help unlock various areas, especially Swamp Palace. Okay, nice jump for Krithel, getting a big key.
Mm-hmm.
And Tam,
Tam
nice.
does a thing. It's like a technique that they seem to be good at. There's a lot
Yeah,
of different ways to skip the walk around there. There are ways where you can make it work every time, but if you fail, you soft lock. I don't like doing those. I'd rather risk walking around than missing out on the item. But if you're good enough at it, then you can save time consistently.
so next up for Krithel is Saha, and we get info. Eastern. And there's a bottle for Tam and Bonk Rocks. Oh, here we go.
Getting something resembling a race layout.
It does resemble a race layout.
It seems to be missing the actual layout, unfortunately. I'm not sure how. I've never seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
It has the tracker overlay. You get to see a little bit under the hood about how SpeedGaming works. There we go.
Yo.
Now it's looking slightly more glitchy, which is always a good thing.
Swamp Palace small key for Tam also has the ability to unlock Swamp Palace. So, not bad. And we have a bomb tree today. I'm not sure what tier that was. I assume it was tier 1. Let's see what Krithel pulls. Same tier.
All right, we're getting so close to being able to say Aga 1 never dies.
Yeah.
This could be the last race, and we're not going to be killing Aga 1 for that heart piece.
Yep.
It wasn't going to happen in any of the races between me and Krithel, because Krithel never checks that either.
Right.
But Tam checks it.
Yeah. All right, a map for Tam. One thing I know about Tam is he gets every map and reads every map.
So maps are important if you are a player who is skilled enough to low percent go mode, because it means that you're more likely to be in go mode before you have all your information.
That's true. I'm lying about Tam. Sometimes Tam goes into dungeons.
Oh, Krithel just checked Lumberjack. I'm apparently lying about Krithel, so
Oh no!
that's pretty funny.
We're doing a great job, Malma.
To be fair, I think I actually never finished watching back the second race between us. Maybe he did check it.
I'm
Would
not
have been
sure.
early, though. Maybe he knows that Tam checks it and knows that I don't.
Yeah, I don't recall.
It does tend to be checked more often in people who do this route up the mountain that does Hera before going down. And I wonder if having a sword early is influencing that decision to go up this way. Makes it more valuable to go into Hera so you can hit switches.
Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah. Well, Tam is going for bombs, regardless. Bombs can be found at Graveyard Ledge. That takes care of this check. And there are more bombs. Will Krithel go for the map now? It looks like it. Yes.
It's fairly faster to go around than to just clip over. Like, this is a more straight line to the cave than going around. If you can clip fast enough, it's probably not even losing that much time. And then most of the time lost is going to be associated with picking up the item.
Yeah.
I wonder if... I don't think Krithel will read the land bridge, being a game behind. Oh, not even going to go this way. I think he just realized that he still has to rescue the old man.
Oh.
That's one of the downsides of going up via the lumberjack, is that you have to drop down and rescue the old man, or else you're climbing the mountain again later.
Right.
Unless you happen upon a flute or something.
I
Oh, speaking of a flute.
Perfect. I assume most people do the same route every time and not forget, but maybe Krithel doesn't do this.
I've seen people die on the way down or get sidetracked. Usually that happens because they see something inside the Spectacle Rock Cave and they go for it, and then they forget that they can't just save and quit out, or they go to pod or something. They get sidetracked. I saw it recently and I forget who it was. It might have been Krithel. Maybe Moldworm Cave is where we usually see our first Underworld major glitch.
Yeah, that's true. There's a juke.
The easy way to get King's Tomb. Well, it's not necessarily easy, but it's not really any harder than the other glitched ways to get King's Tomb.
Yeah.
It's definitely harder to route King's Tomb in modes where this glitch is banned.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Tam bypass the transition, and then they can make a bad transition up, which takes them to King's Tomb. Sounded like rupees.
Sounded like a decent amount, maybe 50 or 100. Oh yeah, they're still filling. Maybe it's 300. Yeah, that's a 300, I think.
Oh, I didn't see a second bottle.
Oh, apparently they both have it.
Yeah.
Tam considers that good enough for Kakariko. Also, having flute is good enough for Kakariko. There's really no reason to put this off once you have a flute. If you have the flute and you don't want to do desert, you can just leave with the flute and do half of Kakariko and then come back for the other half later. But Tam also has a bottle, which is one of the criteria for being able to do Thieves' Town Attic while in desert, which is a common meta play these days. Also, no shortage of money. Nice to see that. In a seed where you have 2 early bottles, money might be spent a lot. Ooh, that's more early money. I think that's 300s for Tam.
We also saw a optimal path for Tam through Blind's Hut, which I haven't noticed, but I bet Tam's been doing it a while. It's been recently promoted.
Is it? I think it's what I do. I'd have to look. There's more optimal paths that you can do with mirror and hookshot that I think most people don't do, because it's not intuitive.
Yeah, I tried it after Structural Mike posted about it in 2021 or so, and it didn't grow on me. Oh, there's a
Okay, so
sword.
sword. While the sword is dupable, I don't think they'll go for it, given they have what they need. You don't
Right.
need tempered sword, and it's probably not worth going through the trouble. Third bottle is also usually not needed, but it's nice to have.
B bottle vendor.
Yes. I wonder if you can sell that bee back to him and get your money back. Yeah, krithel never checks the land bridge because he always takes this route. He always goes up via the clouds, and then when I say check the land bridge, if you're not aware of what that means, there's a sign on the land bridge that lists tournament winners, and krithel and Tam are both on it. And so are you.
Me.
You.
This is our second No Logic tournament, and that's right, I took the first one.
Tam has found 4 out of 5 of the 300 rupees, which is something I would have liked to have in one of my races. And I'm sure Chris will be thinking that when he finds them, because he was in that race too, and that was a, oh my goodness. Okay, so 4 out of 5 are in Kakariko, and the other one Tam has from Kings 2.
Incredible.
My favorite part of that is that Tam farmed all 6 pots in the back of Blindside Out.
Amazing.
This is going to be a potion shop trip. Tam really doesn't want to, like, you know, spend all that money on the more expensive potions.
I'm curious. I bet we're not using this either. Yeah. No magic for Tam. If Tam were to fill their magic meter, then they wouldn't be able to use a green YBA.
It's such a weird thing that can happen in the early game. They would have to, like, find the anti-fairy in the dam or something to be able to use magic. Eastern Palace's green pendant. krithel usually opens with that, and he didn't this time, so this is our first time seeing...
No.
Oh.
We saw it.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to fix the stream. Okay.
Yeah. We saw that.
Green pendant Eastern means that you won't do Eastern until you're ready to do Mire.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It is kind of nice to have a pendant there that you can use to warp out of Mire.
Yeah.
If you're doing it that way. But it can make it hard to find whatever you might need in there. If there's just a fire rod sitting in Eastern and the other one's hard to find, it might be a while before you find it.
We have an upgrade fairy for Tam.
Tam has so much money that this is just a time cost.
Yeah, right.
We should put some logic in no logic, but the logic is just putting the money early.
Yes.
Everything else is actually no logic. No logic double 300s. Actually, we could just legalize Plaid World and solve that problem.
I would argue for index setters early.
Triple lamps. Just like the vanilla game.
Yeah, right.
3 progressive lamps, they turn into blue rupees when you find the first one.
Yep.
I feel like there was a beginner mode back in the day that just had extra lamps in it. But it was weird because it made it hard to read logic, because you didn't know if your lamp was actually putting things in logic or not.
Right.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar. I was going to say that too.
I think this is before they did like free lamp cone, or I don't remember what they replaced it with, but...
Well, maybe there was back and forth because there used to be a free lamp cone in the light world, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, one of these bees is sellable, but it's not like he needs the money, so he's just setting up the birds and the bees inside the chicken hut. And...
Krithel not having the talk. Moving on.
The talk is going to Sick Kid and talking to him and getting an item out of it. With one of your 3 bottles. Tam is having the talk with that vulture, which I don't understand why that vulture doesn't aggro, but it just doesn't.
I don't know either.
I feel like Tam could feel the vulture's feathers on their ears, and that vulture still didn't aggro.
I bet it has to do with direction that you approach it, but I didn't actually realize that till now. And
That's what the vulture is just on its phone and had earplugs in.
Oh, I see.
I see how it is. How do earplugs work on a bird anyway?
I think they might be earmuffs. All right, Tam taking a trip to Thieves Town. This is a subtile YBA.
This is an interesting one because Tam doesn't have as much need to do this. I mean, it does help with Thieves Town, but they have a key to get into Desert Right. They might actually clip down there and then walk out that door from the other side, which is funny to see.
Right.
So they won't have to. They won't have to death warp.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we've seen that before. Hey, Powder in Aga Tower.
That's very missable check.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like this extra key. Oh, nice. That's dupable. Tam can do that now. Come on, Tam. You got this. No.
Yeah, so they're setting up for it, I think.
Don't they have a red potion? They could just do it now?
Yeah, exactly. That's why they left.
Why, though? They could have just done it right there.
Because it's a checkpoint.
Huh. Oh, I see. Oh,
Yo, Hookshot is in Hyrule Castle. That's kind of crazy.
Tam needs... It's an auto door. I think Tam wasn't thinking about the fact that that was an auto door. They need a heart so they can bomb snap in, or they need to select buffer. I think they're going to do. Just be careful not to spin YBA because
oh my gosh,
cause problems.
Yeah.
So krithel has some of the hook pushing kit, but not all of it. They have the parts of it that are harder to find, like the hook shot. There's only one of those. You need it for any hook push. Okay, Tam successfully not spin YBing.
Yeah.
And then death warping out. Okay, I guess setting up the checkpoint, I don't know if that's faster than just using the other one, but maybe it is. So the purpose of that was to copy some room data. There's a reason they left that chest closed. So they needed that chest closed because that's the room data they're copying onto the open chest to make that chest a closed chest. And then they can open this chest again and pick up the silver arrows.
Yeah, it does not at this point seem like that was worth it just for a silver arrow Ganon fight. Instead, it's going to be useful for just all over the game, as well as potentially having lots of sparkles for hook pushes.
It works really well with the items krithel just found.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if Tam ever makes it to the castle, they will have a pretty good setup for low index stuck pushing, which is a kind of form of minimalist hook pushing where you don't need very many items for it. You can use the powder to set index on the fly even.
And it looks like krithel is in Palace of Darkness, so we're not going to really see a desert play for a while. And Tam is going to back of desert, so this is likely a land mode play with that green, and we'll see a green spin YBA.
It's pretty safe for Tam to do a VRAM fight, but they're not going for it. I wonder if they want the key. The reason it's safe is because even if they do crash, they did just death warp. All they would have to do is come back and get their silvers again. But they seem to want this key, or they just want to be able to flute out afterward and have clean graphics. One of the things. Okay, so krithel finds bombos. That's good.
That's
One of
true.
the things that Tam didn't do yet is all that desert overworld. But it's really
Yeah.
easy to get back to with the flute.
Yeah, yeah.
So bombos for krithel is good because bombos is it's a way to do cold stare when you don't have fire rod yet. And doing Misery Mire without its medallion can be hard.
It's sort of an uncharacteristic late hit of the first land melt, but that's okay.
I think
Tam took them down with a second.
People's timing can sometimes be thrown off from doing glitches to get into boss rooms.
Yep.
There was a pendant though, which is not really what Tam wanted to see.
Oh, yeah.
You want to. That's just like Eastern, where you want to leave that pendant on the boss so that you can use it to warp out when you're killing other bosses in Desert State. And Desert is one of the most dungeony dungeons. It has a lot of dungeons in it.
That's right. You can start in Desert and end up in multiple other dungeons. So far, we've seen Thieves Town. And I already talked about how the Desert Small unlocks Swamp Palace, oftentimes.
Krithel's doing his special, which is... He's really good at hovering. He's also particularly good at rail clip hovering. It's something he's practiced a lot for speedruns. That was
Nice.
really good. Saves a ton of time on this route. I think he will want to do Hookshot Cave from here, which he won't have to hover, but he does have to do this glitch called Auto Door Bomb Juke, which is a 2-frame window to snap into the door and juke past it because it's an auto door.
We are short on bombs, but it's still possible. Looks like he's got it.
Mm-hmm. He needs to have one to get through Hookshot Cave.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 is plenty.
Oh.
Oh, Tam doesn't get the... Oh, okay. They figured it out. Slowly extricating themselves from the collision there.
Yeah.
If you do that right, you can hop out farther and not have to do that. But it's the same inputs as Kiki Yeet, and that's easy to just fail for some reason. If you don't do your taps lightly enough, you'll just clip through normally and not go very far.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so this is the broken transition. This sends Krithel to Hookshot Cave. Sometimes we get to scroll the screen, sometimes not.
I've been told a lot of things about like how to make this possible, and none of them have been consistent for me. As far as I'm aware, it's just luck.
Uh-huh.
It's probably not luck. It's probably
Very luck
dependent.
Yeah, I don't know any reason at all. I've looked at it, but I didn't see a pattern. But yeah, I'm ignorant about it. But yeah, that meant that Krithel didn't have to scroll the screen on the next screen, basically. That's about it. Saves a little time.
Nothing exciting in Hookshot Cave. But Cane of Samaria in Super Bunny Cave is very exciting. That'll give Krithel a different path through desert and thieves.
Oh yeah.
It might make it harder for him to do the dupe that Tam did. Tam only was able to do that because they checked the chests in Desert Right side in a particular order, top down. Krithel's more likely to check it from bottom up. And will not be able to refill the chest because the other chest will already be open.
Oh, look where Tam went.
Oh, Tam will get the powder. And presumably also the hook shot, so that's hook pushing for Tam once they get that.
Yeah, I wouldn't presume it, but it's very possible.
You wouldn't presume that it's hook pushing, or you wouldn't presume that Tam will do it?
I don't know if Tam is going to escape.
Ah,
it looks like
it.
they are.
They're doing it. You don't go to this just for Uncle.
Yeah. You do.
If you do, you start at Link's house and just walk there, I think.
I mostly agree with that, yeah. Oh, we missed something.
Tam can't do Thieves Town from Uncle until they get a cave state big key. What happened to Krithel?
Krithel reset the game. I meant to take a second look, but I didn't.
They lost something. They don't have the cane anymore. Or he at least knows where it is and doesn't have to do Hookshot Cave, but I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I don't know why we would reset that.
All I can think of is that maybe he was YBAing into back of, like, Ice Armos and accidentally VRAM'd or something. Spin YBA.
Yeah, that's
what
what I would do.
I guess Krithel did a Plaid World fake flute. You can just save and quit out of that, though. You don't need to hard reset your game.
Oh.
In fact, we even legalized doing that for duping chests.
Yeah, right.
It's perfectly legal now. Like, we voted to do illegal glitches that would put you in illegal out-of-bounds states, as long as you don't actually do the out-of-bounds stuff. That you just immediately leave, mirror out, or save and quit. Because there are other utilities to doing those glitches, and the fact that they take you in these illegal out-of-bounds states is not really relevant. He wanted his potion back, but this is gonna cost him a lot of time. I don't think... I mean, unless he was just thinking too fast, and... I just don't see being worried about money in that way, in a seed like this. He's also not going to be able to bomb jump anymore, so he has to do the rail clip hover. He's in trouble a little bit, because he doesn't have a way to restore health, except to drop down into the front of pod, where there are two heart pots.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently...
Here's a... This is a Thieves play for Tam, by the way.
So yeah, I don't know if I was able to say this before what happened to Krithel, but Tam needed to do the escape to do this because they didn't have a cave state big key. They wouldn't have been able to unlock these doors.
Right.
And that's good for them because they wanted that hook shot. Krithel, I guess, solving the problem by going back into pod and taking a death warp to get some health back. This is a lot of... It's just a lot of time spent recovering from a mistake. I don't know if that Bombos is important enough to need to go back to. I'm wondering what Krithel's going for now. I don't think this is just for Helma Sword.
Scripted LSD blind fight for Tam. Having the LSD effect is not just for show. It keeps the door open and Tam can continue through the cave. Cave State Thieves.
It looks like Krithel will be going for a very low percent boss fight here. This is going to be tricky because he doesn't have a hammer and has to throw bombs. I don't think he can survive this unless he gets the heart. Oh, he has a health potion. Okay, that works. Wait.
So we got a Night's Rod for Tam.
Tam had shovel tracked. I think it was a typo because I just saw Tam getting the shovel in the Thieves Town front.
Oh.
Did they ever actually go back to Cave 45 and so on? Oh, it was an attempt to track silvers. That makes sense. They're next to each other.
Huh, I'm not sure. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing, Tom. That's funny.
Nice.
Yo.
I love that. That's an NMG strat for a different screen. Also, Krithel successfully taking down Helmasaur with one bomb to spare.
Right. I didn't watch that, but that is a nerve-wracking fight.
It is. It's hard. Really easy for Helmasaur to just dodge all your bombs. You can run out of bombs. You can die very easily. It's not like he has good offense for phase 2 either. He had to do spins or slashes. So krithel is actually in some ways ahead on crystals and knowledge of Samaria, despite having lost some time having to redo this.
So it's a crystal for Tam. Okay, krithel back in pod will be... How will he get through mimics here?
Clip him. Oh, you know, the quadrant glitch unlocks her camera.
Right.
Yes, I actually missed that krithel did a quadrant glitch.
Right.
This is a nice fire rod for Tam.
Oh,
This is
fire
Tam's in
rod.
go mode. I think Tam's in go mode, by the way.
Yeah,
That was
for sure.
an interesting like pause in that save and quit. You can almost hear the clockwork ticking in their head.
I
Like,
saw
am I in
no
go mode?
pause there, but maybe my mind paused. And I thought, yeah, that looked like a... I mean, Tam is just
Tam's
going.
being very careful with that door because that could be important. The key that they have here could be important for Swamp. You don't want to spend it on the Hera basement door, which you'll never do from that direction. Tam will probably not find Samaria. If they're in go mode, they're not doing Super Bunny Cave. krithel will find it twice.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know if we talked about turtle power. That's the quadrant glitch off of the turtle. So krithel gets to Super Bunny Cave through 2 different strats we've seen so far. We had a difficult Moldorm for Tam, so they will try again.
Moldor remains the hardest boss in the game,
Yeah.
no matter what you're playing.
It takes so few items to get to Moldorm and no logic. We oftentimes just do a spider sword fight, like an NMG.
It's almost harder with Master Sword. You're more vulnerable.
You are so vulnerable, yeah. Especially if you don't have a hook shot.
So krithel will use the red potion this time. Using the super tile door here skips the boss. You can use the subtile door instead, but then you have to fight the boss. krithel doesn't have good equipment for that. You would have to do a very slow fight. So I saw a fire rod for Tam. I'm going to assume ice rod must have been somewhere in that Thieves Town path as well. Is that correct?
In Thieves Town front, yeah.
So all krithel needs to do is just follow the path Tam is following. But krithel is also now in danger of maybe leaving behind desert if he just never gets around to it.
Yeah.
I think he left Cat. He did the flu activation and then left. I don't think he did desert.
And desert is a pendant.
He doesn't know that, as far as I can tell. I think our tracker, the
No.
bomb, is one of those really experienced trackers who will not only track the prize info, but also the individual runner's knowledge of the prize info, which is really important in the logic.
Yeah.
Desert Palace has the bow, which for Tam was 2 bows. For krithel will probably only be 1, because I don't think he has incentive to approach the room from top to bottom the way Tam did. krithel has a decent chance of finding out what the desert pendant is by killing Argus while there. Because krithel has the cane and can do the death hole glitch.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen in this race. I'm continuing on. Searching the skull. Nice sank heart. That's quite handy.
It's a nice sank heart.
Yeah.
I want a glove.
That's a nice glove.
I'm not sure how relevant that glove is, actually. We'll
It might
see.
not be relevant, no.
A hammer would have to turn up
Yeah.
for it to matter for ice. A
Yeah.
moon pearl would have to turn up for it to matter for Dark World access. You know, for ease of access to the South Dark World region. And Tam would have to not be in go mode for it to be relevant for the things that glove locks. So we're doing some like rapid hook pushing here. Nice, very smooth. I love arrow and flight. It's so good.
Right, we didn't use arrow and flight for a long while, sort of as a community. I would say. I don't know.
I want to say it was Mr. Beyer who taught us that.
Yeah.
Because arrow and flight is a way. So to release a nice sword, to release the stuck hook, you have to overload your hand solo. So it's splash deletion. If you are familiar with normal rando, you're just doing splash deletion to complete the hook push. But the arrows are replaceable, so you have to worry about your index if you're using them, just like for a splash deletion. But you don't have to worry about it when the arrow's in flight because that is not replaceable. But you can only have one arrow in flight at a time, so you also have to use things like bombs and dash dust. And the hook shot itself. The stuck hook will also fill a slot. You only need to fill 4 slots.
Oh, Krithel's in Kakariko. Did Krithel do it half Kak?
Yes.
That's interesting. So Nobly says that this is Desert Palace to Argus. That seems like a good play.
I think this is good because it'll give Krithel knowledge of Desert Pendant. I don't think he's going to be able to hook push to continue into Swamp because he doesn't have a way to get a high index on the fly.
Yeah.
And he needs a high index to do the Samaria push.
There is potential of doing flipperless Swamp through Aegina's cave, but I don't know if Krithel goes for that.
That's true. It's definitely possible, though.
With Krithel's equipment, with Samaria only, I don't know if you can fake flipper. Although he'll probably get bow.
He'll get the bow. He's not in go mode. Like, Tam is in danger of missing things.
Oh, yeah,
particularly that cane. Krithel is not in danger of missing things until he finds the rods.
Yep.
We actually don't know if those rods are required.
Oh, no.
Tam has found another crystal.
Which crystal was that?
It was at Skull Woods.
Oh, yeah.
So that means that Pod, which we know is a crystal, but unknown to Tam. Swamp Palace we don't know, and TR we don't know. It's a 50-50 for us.
Nice to have these extra bottles. Since Krithel missed one YBA, he is able to get the next one.
This is good for Krithel, I think, because he's going to get that bow and have the option of duping it. Because he's not taking the Samaria route. And he's not just going into the door either. That I can, he could still do that, but I think currently the fastest way to get there is to just clip down. He's doing that now. But I don't know if he has the potion he needs. He's gonna open the chest. No? Okay, that's fine. He doesn't need the silvers. It's just better because you can do on-the-fly heavy sparkle hook pushes. Whereas Krithel would have to set up a high index, which he can only use once, to do a single hook push with normal sparkles. He could also just find the other silvers, the real ones. He could find the lamp or one of those other heavy sparkle items, including the ice rod. Which is hard to use, but it is possible.
That cave music's pretty funny. Okay, so Tam did a arrow shot followed by powder, so that should set their index to 6. And with that, it's a low index setting, but it can be used for hook pushing, which we might see
Where's Tam
shortly. Probably Helma.
Huh. Oh, they're gonna push up. Oh. Okay. I'm not actually sure how this times compared to Chachi Drag.
It's better.
It's better, okay. It's something I tried once and then I failed the hook push and felt bad. It's also a little bit better for Tam because it's like some extra checks you can get on the way.
Meanwhile, krithel set up a high index. We saw that before a save and quit. Always be index setting.
ABIS.
It's not super catchy, but it's the rule.
Tam has not succeeded.
Yeah, there may have been a slow release there, which may have been caused by the light going out.
Yeah, I feel like the light going out ate an input for Tam. I also think that maybe Tam was not actually behind the Terminator, but then they decide they could just do this in the dark.
Yeah, that's much
Like,
better.
Once you have the anti-fairy out of the way, it's not like the room is that complicated.
Yeah, you know if you're high or low. That's really all you need.
You
Don't
can see
walk into the door.
You can see your hook shot. Once you have that stuck hook, you know where you are. Krithel is now doing the Deathful Argus. He damaged himself down on purpose. The nice thing about his situation is he doesn't have to do the awful fight where you try to lure the puffs off screen. He can just use the hook shot.
He has Master Sword though, so you can't really kill the puffs.
Sure you can.
No way, they have.
Too
It's
much
impossible.
It's impossible. Apparently, he thinks it's impossible, and this is easier somehow. Which
It is, of course,
don't
easy.
think is correct. I don't think this is going to work. I hate this fight. Like with a burning passion.
I was wrong about everything. Oh, but why couldn't that work? He could scroll it off the bottom of the screen.
It's harder off the bottom. It's like a
I know, but he
window.
didn't even try. He should have at least tried.
I don't know.
Oh wait, maybe he did try and he got his cycle out of it. Oh.
Maybe. Well, he's managed to.
I shouldn't.
Oh no. Okay, so there was
that was
one
really bad
puff.
luck.
Yeah, that pup did not have to spawn there, but it did. This is why I hate the fight. It's
Okay.
that you can just get screwed by like one puff. I mean, you have a green male. You always have 7 hearts in this fight because of the death hole. It's a fairy revive.
I take back everything I said. You're right.
Yeah, this is also really the only option for Krithel to do this fight. If he had flippers, he could also do a longer path to Argus via the desert door. But without the flippers, he would have to do another glitch that is not actually available to him due to his hardware. So this is...
Okay, thank you, Fox. New mnemonic just dropped. And Tam, in the meantime, has gone to Hera, which is interesting. It was a wrong warp. Oh, Krithel? No, Krithel.
He has to get lucky again, I think.
I think it's
Okay,
good.
no, he's good. Okay. This fight is safe now as long as he doesn't get off the wall. Tam is hook pushing. I actually don't know where they are. Where are
They are in the basement of Hyrule Castle. Let's call it the sewers.
Are they doing the Meyer dupe now? Good lord.
Why not?
I mean, it makes sense
Let's go.
because actually all Tam has left is Ice and Meyer, and then a 50-50 pendant at Swamp or TR.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not like Swamp is easy either. The Swamp Crystal is not easy for Tam. It's a little easier for Krithel. Krithel has an index of 6, so that hook push will not work. It also, yeah, would require him to have killed Mothula. But he could also just... Oh, wait a minute. I don't think that... Okay, I see that there's Swamp Knowledge. Krithel have like a P on the screen when he was in Swamp?
I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure Krithel killed Argus but got the desert pendant from it. But I don't know if that knowledge of the pendant on the tracker is real. Because that would be really important to know. The TR, the Swamp. TR is actually like the easier dungeon to do. For both of them. Than Swamp Crystal.
Yeah. And Tam collects the Crystal of Misery Mire. That much I know.
And that one, apparently Tam knows it's a crystal, but Krithel doesn't. So it wouldn't have really made sense for Tam to do that if they didn't have knowledge, unless they were doing it because they wanted the knowledge and considered it easy enough with hook pushing to just do it while in pod. Which is good routing. Tam's been playing very strong today.
Yeah, for sure.
So good news for Krithel, he's on his way to the location that has the fire rod and ice rod, so he can finally start being in go mode. I think I'll be happy about that.
Yeah.
It's not just go mode, it's a pretty good go mode.
It is.
Especially for like the Cane of Samaria is nice. The 3 bottles. You could pretty much do anything with 3 bottles. Even if it's not fun to do. And then the single-use hook pushing for Krithel. But Tam has multi-use hook pushing, which is, I think, a little more powerful than the Cane of Samaria and the Seed.
Oh, Krithel went back down the stairs. There's a trick to not getting sucked back down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. It's just remembering.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't know how to fix that, he just forgot.
Yeah.
Or maybe was a little off-grid and didn't realize it.
So now Tam is in Cave State Ice Palace. So they should reload the dungeon here. So we will be in actual Ice Palace.
And this is, Tam likes to say, opening the useless door and avoiding the harmless key.
Now wait a minute. Krithel is not an LSD blind.
No, Krithel missed.
Oh.
That's pretty unfortunate.
Huh.
Yeah. How will he get back here? Fake flu is probably the easiest way.
We've seen this being a very hard trick to come back from, in terms of recovering lost time.
It's slow, yeah.
It's just slow to come back.
I think Krithel goes for an LST blind that's a little more optimal, but also a little easier to miss.
Huh. Yeah, I missed the entry into the room.
I just saw him go into the middle of the thing and press select, and the select menu came up. But there was no LSD blind effect. He was probably just a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
It was before the blind text. So he's doing something else, which is Mire. He's going to delay the rods, but there are 2 of each rod in the game, so he could still find rods, but this does mean that he will be clearing Mire. When he doesn't need to. But
it makes sense from Krithel's perspective, and even finding progression in the first try of that play would have felt a little slow, maybe. Sam was in Thieves Town earlier, predictably.
But Tam has to do a spin YBA in this door to skip the hammer requirement.
Mm-hmm.
We usually go for a blue potion to avoid VRAM corruption because it's dangerous to get VRAM corruption in the current version of the randomizer. It turns out there's a vanilla glitch associated with it that has, I want to say, not really been present in previous rando versions and then been reverted to vanilla behavior in more recent ones. So something Mr. Beyer has extensively tested. Although he thinks that it's always been dangerous. I think it hasn't. I think it's been less dangerous. Maybe not completely safe. What are those keys?
It's the muffins, dude.
Oh, it's just a lot of pod keys. The heck?
Yeah.
I've never seen this before. That's cool.
Yep. Yeah. And Yoho, by the way, in all caps, also tested the VRAM
Yes.
corruption.
Yo tested it on console to make sure it's not an emulator issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to test things on emulator, I think, but you do want to know that it's not just an emulator effect.
Right.
Oh, krithel. What happened to krithel? I didn't see.
Krithel missed this. Excuse me. Krithel missed the conveyor into Mire.
Oh, okay.
So now we're doing something else.
This is probably a return to Thieves Town, which is good for him because it will get him the rods, assuming that's where he's going, and not like Hype Cave. I do love the Metroid.
Yeah, the Metroid's so good.
I love how it floats. Also gives
Metroids you
like a clear view of the shadow. Also, it turns blue here. That's pretty cool. It's that
is really
the
cool.
Zero Suit Samus colors on the Metroid actually looks really good.
It does.
And honestly, the Metroid colors on Zero Suit Samus don't look that bad either.
I thought that's what you said.
Oh, both. So that what I mean is the other way. The Samus, like the Metroid colors on Samus, they turn her green.
Oh.
Almost like Metroid Dread. Spoilers.
I missed that. Spoilers.
This is not Thieves Town, but it will eventually be Thieves Town, right? Krithel opened these.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Maybe we'll look at the Mire Medallion, which if it's Bombos, Krithel knows where that is. Tam apparently doesn't. Tam is too much in go mode. But also doesn't care anymore because they already did the dungeon. It's Quake. So Krithel doesn't have to go back for that Bombos unless he wants to do Ice Palace before Fire Rod. Which he might do. Tam's about to get some form of swamp prize, and that will give us our info if we're successful. So they have to do some splash deletion here. 1, 2, 3, and 2. Index is bad. Tam is setting a known index. Is that actually a known index?
Sure.
That was only 1 arrow.
Yeah, but it's sparkles.
Oh, okay. I don't really know how sparkles work.
You can do that with the red boomerang too. Red boom and then powder.
Yeah, that's how you do the ledge dash. The easiest way to do ledge dash index setting is to item dash with the red boom. But if you do it in the underworld, the red boom might have the wrong sparkles because the dash off is actually just a little bit longer. The sparkles can despawn or go into the wrong slot. But when you do it in the overworld, it's consistent. Tam is doing a glitch called Fake Clippers.
Yep. We're clipping through the wall.
Harder than they make it look. This part of it is easier, you're just holding down left, but to actually get that far, you have to do some mimic clip-like inputs. It is bufferable, so if you're not good at mimic clipping, but you can buffered mimic clip, you can learn this. I thought I might have seen a bomb shop check for Krithel, but maybe he just knows the red crystals are skull and ice. Or maybe he just checked it and I wasn't paying attention.
He did check it.
Okay. I guess that's knowledge that he didn't have before about ice. Or for that matter, Skull Woods, because I think we saw that from Tam blind bowling it.
So are we going to see a spin YBA from Tam? I think so.
I believe that's the only way Tam could get to Argus from this part. They're also going to get the checks with a splashless bomb diver down. Looks like a good strat. Nice sword.
Wow.
Nice mail.
Wow, again. Oh, and wow.
That's a sword. Krithel will not see that sword.
Yeah.
But the Skullwood sword. He needs to have... Oh no. I'm a little worried that Krithel won't be in the right world after clearing Skull to be able to go outside and actually get the Fire Rod. But he does have... He might have an index set for actually doing Mothula, which might include the sword.
Oh my gosh, Tam didn't get the scroll off the bottom. So, in this Argus fight, it's... For me, this is like one of the classic glitches, because I learned it for boss RTAs and older major glitches speedruns. But, yeah, it's a little easier to scroll. You just can't see what you're doing, compared to the Death Hole scroll. You can mostly see.
Is that a pendant or a crystal? I think it's sparkling. I think that means it's a crystal. There's that little, like, flying bat-looking thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't really... I mean, I should have just listened to it, because you can...
Tracked as a pendant, so I trust that it's a pendant. TRs are crystal.
Okay. Yeah, you can... I mean, I didn't hear the...
Yeah, that's a
from
good
the
point.
crystal.
That's a good point. Krithel doing a hook push to get into the back of Skull. But what I don't know is how he intends to continue through back of Skull without fire.
The answer is always more hook pushing.
With what index, though? Krithel doesn't have a way to set index high enough for the equipment he has.
Oh, just you watch.
Okay. At least
Meaning I have no idea.
Okay. There's also a glitch you can do with the cane that causes VRAM corruption. Which
Yeah.
is not safe on Krithel's hardware.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just does it. Let's see. He's gonna do it. No, he knows it's not safe.
Yeah, the slash was a bad sign.
Looking really rough. I feel bad for him. It feels like everything he does is just getting snagged by something.
Yeah.
So Tam is doing a vitreous play. This is desert to mire. This works for Tam because they have the hook shot and or one desert small key, so they can leave this bridge. They could also have hovered if they were able to, but I don't think they're a strong enough hover to cross that gap. But once they're through here, they can just hook push to the back. Is it really just one silver arrow in the powder?
Oh, sorry, I got distracted here. I'm here.
You said index. Is it really just one silver arrow in the powder?
Yeah.
Oh. Is there a timing caveat? Like, how do you know that the sparkle hasn't also filled slot 2?
Because there aren't enough sparkles to do that.
Okay. I was still wondering, like, why Tam is tiptoeing.
Tiptoeing? Yeah, I don't know.
That was weird. It was like they were afraid of the spark. Maybe the spark could block the hook shot or something. Okay, Krithel is now going in the right direction. He can just Death Warp in Thieves Town and get fake Dark World here. But Tam is really close to finishing the game. They just have to kill Trinex. And killing Trinex is not that bad.
What I would wish for is a boomerang, but...
Yes. Oh, you're right about that. They have 2 bottles.
Yeah.
It's a reliable way to get to Trinex if you can pull off 2 consecutive YBAs.
A ledge pog from Tam, by the way. That's a high index set.
Okay, there's Ice Rod for Krithel. That's heavy sparkles and 1 required item for Trinex, which we now know is needed. Don't think Krithel knows that yet, but he also knows that he doesn't have a fire source yet. He definitely needs one of those. Is this a refill for Tam? Bomb and arrow upgrade? Okay, remember?
Yeah.
I want to point something
to be
out.
safe.
Do you remember when we got 300 rupees in the early game?
I do remember that.
Tam has like 100 rupees left.
Yes. Well, I mean,
That is a ridiculous amount of money spent.
it's a good use of their rupees, and now they have 30 bombs and 45 arrows.
Your krithel should be in go mode very soon. Just walks out, gets the fire rod. So Tam is choosing to do an overworld conveyor using a high index. You can't do this with low index. So they will reset their index. And try again. Another option for Tam, which is actually not an option, never mind. I was gonna say coming from back of Old Man Cave, but you need the boomerang for that. Yeah, you're right about boomerang being something Tam would want, is that would help a lot. So here's Fire Rod for krithel. Probably not happy to see where that is, given how close he was to it when he was doing blind. Now he's not in the right world to be just going up to here, but he can at least flee back to the potion shop, get some more stuff, go back to Skull and do it normally with the fire rod.
This can be a bit of a frustrating moment in the race for Tam, where the overworld conveyor doesn't work. So, oh, nice purple guards, by the way. That's
Nice.
funny. So they have to do the setup over and then do the overworld conveyor setup over again.
Yeah, the hard part about this is really Tam's only viable way to get into back of TR without just like blowing a fake flute and running all the way over here from Thieves Town.
And how much does it cost for a blue potion?
About what Tam has left in their pocket.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not working. What do you think is happening here? Is this an index problem or
No, just timing.
just
Timing's the hardest part of this. It just sort of depends. If you have, if it's me, I just go by feel, and I feel like I remember the frame window, which is, somewhere in the 20 to 30 range. You get a nice window. But Tam is just missing it barely, probably. I mean, that's my guess.
The other thing that makes this hard is that because it's the last thing Tam has to do, they can't just do something else to reset. This is the only thing they can do.
Another problem that tends to... Let's see.
No,
that's not it. Another problem that tends to occur is that sometimes the sword charge spark gets in the way. So that, that's on screen for something like 6 frames. And you don't want to hit, Y during that spark.
Yeah, that is an ancilla that doesn't get replaced. And it happens to time very well with when you want to start doing the glitch. So if you want to be careful, you can charge your sword ahead of time. Make sure that you hear that little gurgle that Link makes, and then do the glitch. But I do see that Tam is actually misslotting something. I just don't know if it's going into slot 9. Because that thing will go into slot 9 and take up your slot 9 sparkle.
Yeah.
krithel now on his way to Cold Stare. Catching up slowly. Tam is now going for something different. This is interesting. But it's an upward conveyor. I think you can... I think you can do this. You have to do it from below.
I'm sorry?
You can upward conveyor into laser bridge.
You can upward conveyor into laser bridge, yes.
But
It's annoying. It's really annoying because of the slope.
I don't like it. I think Taj so mains it, but I don't think it's good. But I guess if you already have a conveyor and you've been having trouble getting a downward conveyor, it might be worth trying. But you could also waste a lot of time trying something you're not familiar with. Krithel failed the first 5e, but has another blue potion as backup. But he has to do some beam dupes to actually break the shell now, because he did consume some magic. This should work. Ooh, threw off the timing a little, but that's okay. Blue mail tempered sword and even a couple rod shots to spare should make this a pretty safe fight. Almost hitless. Okay, not quite. But we'll be okay.
There's the cold stare crystal for Crystal. I'm sorry, I'm doing it now. Krithel picked up the cold stare crystal. Okay. I like this. Tam is going for the bomb splash method, and they get it. Easy peasy.
This is something some runners swear by. People will main the bomb splash method because it requires very little equipment, and it's very consistent if you've practiced it. But it's good that Tam had it up their sleeve so that they were able to recover from this. I love watching this bunny sprite.
It's so good.
It's so good. Now this part is super annoying. I don't quite understand it, but it feels like it's luck if you can actually get the cooking state.
I noticed in your race you got it pretty much first try recently.
I didn't. Well, okay, if I did it was luck.
Yeah, it's not easy to get first try, but no problem for Tam. Very well done. It also helps that they have a total of 7 heart containers here, so it's not a big deal to death warp.
The Tam makes it in, but they still have to do the glitch, the 2-bottle glitch. Hopefully they have an extra. Oh my god, there's another rod.
Cute.
It's not a great location for an ice rod, even in glitch modes.
Right.
Thankfully, the other ice rod was just in an easier crystal dungeon. Tam will want to open this door first.
Yeah. And why is that, Malmo? It recloses?
Yeah, this
basically.
Well, it's not that it recloses. It's that if Tam were to open the door now, it would not actually set the open door flag on the original screen.
Right.
So that if they failed this and had to start over and weren't just resetting their game, but wanted to, you know, have that laser bridge door already be open to make the laser bridge conveyor easy and able to do it just bunny clipping, they would have to open the door again, and having 0 keys would not actually be able to.
Yep.
Or would have to use a potion to open it, which would be pretty costly. But that's try next down for Tam. All they have to do is go to Agatu, which is not trivial, but it's not too hard either. I think this will probably involve another overworld conveyor, but this time into the middle. And then some hook push to get into the lava. Meanwhile, Krithel is in Eastern Mire. Krithel is taking advantage of the fact that he has the Eastern Big Key and can open the mire door and do a normal dark mire, which is kind of annoying, but...
Wow, this throw.
Oh, I saw the switch get hit, but I think it was not in a lasting way. There we go. You can see the pause on the screen.
Yeah.
And Krithel will be able to get a refill before Vitreous using the powder, so it's not as dangerous as it looks, as long as he can survive to the last room. Oh, interesting. Tam is fake floating.
Yeah.
What's this for?
They need to go to Aga too.
Huh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know what they had in store, and options are running short.
I would have expected another overworld conveyor to get into the middle of TR and then hook push. But if Tam has been struggling with overworld conveyors, I can see why they're opting for this instead. Especially since they seem to have that blue potion as a... well, no, they actually bought another one using the last of their funds.
Oh, yeah. I missed that trip.
Yeah, I only noticed because they have 58 rupees. Just, I can't believe they got all 5 300s and still spent it all.
Yeah. And we saw a green pendant on screen for Krithel, but that's not something he wanted to pick up. So he saved and quit out of there.
Krithel didn't need the warp out because he already knew that he doesn't have the medallion from Mire.
Right. Yeah.
There wouldn't be any benefit except doing Mire Shed.
Mm-hmm.
But he's in go mode. He doesn't need Mire Shed.
So Tam is setting up a stuck push. Uh-oh. I wonder what that Y press was about.
Tam got 2 miss-slot hooks, I think. Or just one
maybe
miss-slot hook and no stuff.
Just the one. Okay. I get it.
So for Krithel, I think this is probably a return to Skullwoods. It's a slow but easy thing to do. Just one clip off the mountain and then walk. Free crystal.
Yeah.
Usually we do things in the order of easy to hard. Unless there's an efficiency bonus to doing 2 things together. Like Tam doing the Mire Crystal while in pod was an efficiency move. And apparently easy enough for Tam to just do it then and there with blue pushing. That would have been a nice double triple if Aga didn't blue ball.
Yeah.
Actually kind of looking like one of those didn't count as a triple. And Tam needed 2 hits there.
Oh. Yeah.
Tam was almost too fast on the climb and had to wait.
Yeah, that
Nicely
seems
done.
to be a trend for Tam. They're getting too good at this.
So this is Ganon for Tam. They have to kill Ganon first try, and if they don't, they have to get back to Ganon probably through the back of his gate, because they will be reverted to bunny state if they died. But I don't expect to see a death when you have red mail, silver arrows, and butter sword. A fall would be fine, actually, because a fall would be... Well,
Right.
in theory, a fall would be fine. I think actually Tam might be in the real Dark World because of the fake flute.
Yeah.
So a fall would actually
Yeah.
not be fine. That's okay. We just don't have to fall.
That's true. We don't have to fall.
I like that bounce. I think people usually fall on Silver's Ganon because they get a little greedy with the triple hits.
Yeah.
Or
I do
because
that.
they're on Master Sword, and Master Sword Silver is just the hardest version of Ganon.
Yeah. Too hard. Yeah, Tam takes it easy.
Yeah, that was one of those where Tam could have tried to get below Ganon to get a double and decided it wasn't safe or worth it.
And there we go. Tam takes down Ganon. Get your GGs in chat. Nice run.
And
Finishing.
nice. Yeah, finishing 114.52. And that is the tournament. As Krithel takes down Mothula. So this is not Tam's first tournament win, but it is Tam's first No Logic tournament win. Congratulations to Tam for taking the 2024 No Logic tournament.
We are joined by Tam. Congrats, Tam, on the win. GG on the race.
Thank you.
So, it looked a little bit stressful at the end there. Overworld conveyor is often a point where I feel really stressed out. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a little bit more than a little stressful. That method feels very unreliable of getting overworld conveyor, and at some point, I really should have given up and switched to a different method, but I was being stubborn for a bit, so I kept failing it. It was really dumb.
And we are joined by Krithel as well. GG on the race, Krithel.
Good game.
And we saw some struggles from you, Krithel, getting some glitches to work. And
I mean, you saw some struggles on literally everything I did.
we
from
did
the
see
very
that.
start. Yes.
Yeah. So take us through that. What was like the first point where you encountered some issue?
So it's one of those, I knew coming in I was gonna struggle. Like my head was pretty bad coming in, so I knew it was gonna be a difficult one, and I kind of tried to play to that. And it was going fine, to be fair, up until the fake flute problem.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I missed the fake flute, but I understood that's what
So I knocked
happened.
my controller.
Oh.
I knocked the R button. No, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I like actually fake fluted. But after that, I just instinctively hard reset because I've never not hard reset from an accidental fake flute. I know it obviously legal in this tournament,
I
but
see.
because I haven't done it in this tournament,
Yeah.
I've just got a muscle memory for, oh, I've done something illegal, hard
I
reset as
see.
quickly as possible. So obviously, as soon as I
Oh.
do that, and the 2 seconds later, realize what's happened.
Yeah.
There's not much I can do at that point, but go back and do most of the stuff I did.
Yeah.
Like, the item spread that I could remember anyway was really awkward because I think Bombos was in Pod Big Chest, or somewhere around there. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't really know where anything was. And then obviously Samaria being where it was, I couldn't just leave it really. I mean, I could, but I didn't have a good game plan for if I left it. So I went back and then obviously had struggles around that. But then at that point, I'm thrown off and nothing from that point really works. So funnily enough, that's probably not the thing that completely puts me out of the race. It's failing the LSD blind is what, like the nail in the coffin there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When,
Honestly.
when you miss out on go mode. Like,
Unnecessarily punishing because of both rods being there.
yeah, there's not much I can do from that point. Like now knowing how it's all laid out,
Yeah.
it's over. But like, I feel like the seed was pretty much done from that fake flute. I just didn't really handle it very well.
No,
So
there was a.
That's
Yeah, go ahead.
no, you go.
There was an interesting equipment difference between you two, which is that you did find the Cane of Samaria and Super Bunny Cave, which Tam did not go to. But Tam got silver arrows from Desert with a dupe, having an extra red potion to use to refill that chest, and that gave them some superior hook pushing, able to chain hook pushes with low index, which was not available to you until Ice Rod. I think that might
I
have
hate
also.
Ice Rod
Oh, me
pushing.
too.
That was never really a game plan when I got the Ice Rod, especially because like 3 balls and at least 1 hook push. I was kind of fine. I guess I could have considered it for the Maya Duke, but at that point I kind of knew I wasn't getting that far, so it didn't really matter.
The Silvers were really clutch. I almost didn't dupe them when I took too much damage because I needed to bomb snap and I forgot about that. So I just was on one heart trying to do the YBA manually.
And we were afraid you were going to spin YBA.
Yeah, no, I was being very wary of that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of like sort out YBAs and it's not good because of doing the spin YBA risk, but yeah, I managed not to. The thing is, if it's a red, you can always cancel with B and then you don't spin.
Oh, that's true, huh? Is that even true for the super tile fade out effect?
Oh, I guess it's not true for super tiles, yeah.
But I'm also not sure if the spin YB would even have been that bad.
I don't think so.
It might have refilled blinds, so or like the Thieves Town Attic might have been reclosed. But I don't know if it would have actually crashed your game because it's not like you didn't need darkroom transitions.
Yeah, I'm not confident that it wouldn't have crashed, but it would probably have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, the seed was, it was very fast, but it was also very frustrating because I was like, I was doing so many checks for a boomerang. Like that was the only item that I wanted, really. Like,
I was wondering what you were wanting to find.
Yeah, mostly for Total Rock, because getting to Total Rock and getting to Trinex would both have been easier with a boomerang. I didn't have a great plan. And I would have sped up Vidrice a little bit, but not by much.
Would Boomerang have opened up the darkroom OA stuck push for you? Is that how you would have done it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done some practice doing that, so I don't find it too difficult.
Yeah, I found it doable, but I didn't practice it enough to feel like I could pull it off now, but maybe after practicing. It's really just a matter of having that map open and knowing where you are and doing the same thing you always do. But you do need the boomerang for that.
Yeah, the important thing is making sure you're standing somewhere where your bombs are not going in a wall, but that you also have enough room to do whatever release you're doing. Which I would have been doing with arrows, so I needed some room.
I think it's reasonable to set up your position on the door and then back up, facing to the left. Very doable, but you do need to have the boomerang for that.
I would believe that, yeah.
Do you think the red cane would have helped you in this seed? It almost seems like no.
It would have made setting up my conveyor easier. That's the main thing.
That's true.
I don't think it would have done anything else for what I was doing. I mean, it's just nice to have the cane. It's like a emotional support glitch item.
It makes swamp faster.
So, the money situation was really interesting to me. 5 300s showed up in the first 15 minutes of the game, and you managed to spend all of them somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but I looked up and I see 160 rupees, and I'm like, okay.
It happens because Tam has the flute, and then refills their supplies at the ferry.
I think the witch should give out free flutes to drum up business.
Yeah.
It'd be a really good promotional item.
No, at the end I was thinking that I should just have bought an extra blue to fake flute to get to Total Rock, but I was worried about money, which I didn't really need, but I reset at some point because I thought my save and quit was before the potions. So I wanted the money back to buy a blue without needing to drink a red. Yeah, no, I whenever I dropped below half bombs or arrows, I just went to refill them at the upgrade ferry. That's why I wasted so much money. I was very
Oh,
the
go
very
ahead.
beginning when 2 bottles showed up. I'm like, I should not go too crazy on upgrades because I might be doing a lot of YVAs, and then all the money was just in Kakariko, so I went way too crazy on the upgrades.
So that's the tournament for you both. And any thoughts on the tourney, Tam, or what your focus will be going forward?
I mean, well, firstly, like, this tournament is like, it's just my favorite event by far out of any Link to the Past thing, really. Like, it's so much fun, and the glitch community is so great that, like, doing these races, whether they're in the tournament or the pickup races, is so much fun. So, like, I'm always super thrilled to join these, and doing well in them is, like, something that does mean a lot to me. So this is pretty nice. I don't really know what's next. I wasn't planning on making it so far in the tournament, so I had to keep playing forever. But now I have some free time, I guess.
Yep.
Well, if you do want to have a next thing to prepare for, we are planning on running a glitched co-op league, which is something we ran a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I think. And I think we're going to do teams of 3 this time, and you can play a bunch of co-op glitch modes, especially some experimental modes we don't get to see in tournaments. The rules have not been written yet, but that will most likely be run in the winter, the early 2025. So if you're interested in that, it's not too late to learn glitch modes, even no logic. There's a lot of resources out there for you and a lot of really good players to help out. Thank you, Tam and krithel, for joining the No Logic tournament this year. Hope you have a good time next year in HMG.
Thank you so much for running this tournament and others. They're always so much fun.
Yeah, thanks.
And krithel, any other final thoughts from you on the tournament or any gaming going forward?
I mean, it's been a blast. It was I've not had a lot of time for Rando or Link to the Past for a while now, and unfortunately, I didn't quite have as much time as I hoped over the tournament. So making it this far has been a wild and exciting ride. And you know, Tam, I think very much deserved to win this. They've been advancing No Logic in quite an exciting way and making No Logic racing really fun. For me, I think this is my competitive tournament retirement. I think it was always going to be. I just don't have the time anymore. But that doesn't mean I'll be around for Glitch League. Don't worry. I'm not going it. I'm not going. But I think this will be it for like 1v1 rando for me. This is a good way to go out. Well, apart from these last 2 races, which are straight up nightmare. But I'll hopefully ignore those.
Sure.
And not dwell on them for the rest of my life.
We've all had races like that.
Yeah.
That would
Shout
be
outs
all.
to krithel. This was
Yeah.
a very scary opponent to face, so very glad to have won.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't put in a good showing to make it exciting, but you know, we'll have more good races, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, again. And thanks shout out to Muffins and the rest of the admin team for helping run this tournament. It was a blast as always, and the glitch community as a whole, just making sure that these games get restreams and that all the players get the support to play the mode to make this possible. See you all next year.